Ronnie Richter of the Richter Law Firm to discuss more about what we have seen and heard today. Ronnie, thank you for being here.
Sure.
Maggie's sister, very emotional testimony. Tough to watch that, tough to listen to that a little bit. But the defense really trying to keep the issue of Alex's botched suicide attempt away from the jury. And for good reason, they don't want the jury to hear a lot about that, right?
Right. And they've done a good job so far, the defense, of keeping that out. So the argument so far has been, the financial crimes go to the motive. But this is an event that took place months after the murder, so they can't be relevant to the motive. And they've successfully stiff-armed that evidence and kept it out. Now today, through Maggie's sister's testimony, she described how the family's attitude changed towards Alex after an event in September. And of course that event was A, Alex got fired from his law firm, and B, he staged this elaborate fake roadside shooting to create the false narrative that someone's hunting Murdaughs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously, if you're completely innocent of these crimes, you've got nothing to do with this, why would you stage an elaborate false narrative that there's someone still out there who's trying to hunt Murdaughs and I'm the next in line?
Right. So we're going to hear a lot more. They're going to argue that at 9:30 tomorrow morning. That's why court isn't going to begin by 10:30. Begs the question, I mean, they let this in, then we may see old cousin Eddie, Curtis Smith, on the stand here, and that would be huge.
It would be huge, and it feels like all day we've been building towards that. Through the state's forensic financial expert, we learned today that cousin Eddie got paid at least $500,000 of the stolen money. Now we also know it was in small increments, mostly less than $10,000 a pop, which is under the reporting requirement for banks. So if cousin Eddie is going to take the stand, so that we now have his receipt of the money, he's the person you call at the roadside. I don't know about you, but I don't have a cousin Eddie on my speed dial that I can call to the roadside to fake a murder, right? So if he testifies, it will be a bombshell in the case. If he testifies, to me, it's the only way the state has a clear path towards conviction.
Very interesting. Notice that a lot of jurors aren't taking notes. There's a lot of information to process there. Does that surprise you? It
does surprise me. In a long case like this, an elaborate case with lots of evidence, it's more typical that you would see that. Some judges have the attitude it's bad, though, because if I note something down and you don't, then I wed myself to what I wrote, and it has more importance to me. Sometimes it impedes a true discussion in the jury room.
Ronnie, I got a question. I don't know if this is going to make sense, but it's something that's talked about when I'm in Colleton County, I'm in Walterboro, I'm in the courtroom. The state, when they're asking questions, they have a lot of interesting stuff, talking about the hose today, which wasn't lined up properly. They ask a ton of questions about this, but at the very end, and this goes back to the jurors not taking notes, at the very end, they don't kind of wrap it up, like why this is all important. They just kind of say no more questions and they let the defense handle it.
Yes.
Is that something that you've noticed too? I mean, is that a big deal? Because sometimes if you kind of get glazed over after all these forensics and everything like that, if you don't wrap it up at the end, like this is why we're asking this, this is why it's important. Or do they plan to do that down the road?
Well, I worry that they're planning it too far down the road. So I'm with you. If I had a criticism, and I don't mean it to sound critical, too many dots, not enough lines.
Sure.
Right? So with this much evidence, I do think it's important from time to time to make sure it's clear how you think those dots connect. To defer it all to the closing argument is asking a lot of that jury, especially when they're not taking contemporaneous notes.
One thing I forgot to ask you, when you're talking about Curtis Smith, if he takes the stand, does that open the door for Alec having to take the stand too, do you think?
Well, if Curtis Smith takes the stand, I think it would be crazy for Alex to take the stand anyway.
Okay, right.
But if he actually testifies, there is no way anybody should put Alex on the stand. I mean, what's that going to sound like? We know that he called cousin Eddie. We know that he came. We know that he came for this purpose. And we know that right after the shooting, whether it was a botched suicide or not, which is ridiculous, the call that was made to 911 was from Alex, and the purpose of the call was to start the false narrative that someone is trying to kill me, obviously trying to detract people away from if he was a participating party in those murders.
Ronnie Richter, Richter Law Firm. Thank you very much for joining us. Very interesting. We'll have